Locations in the comments, everybody. We are live on Rumble, YouTube. Check if we are live on X. We are live on Rumble, YouTube, X, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok. TikTok, it's Work on Your Game. Instagram at Dre Baldwin. Facebook is at Work on Your Game University. And LinkedIn, X, Rumble, YouTube is all the same at Dre All Day. Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. Give me your locations in the comments. I'll shout a few people out, and then we will get into the proceedings this morning. The topic today is Erika Kirk and Candace Owens had a meeting. We're going to talk about that, why it happened, what may have happened, and what may come next now that this meeting has taken place. Give me your locations in the comments. King Works 21, checking in from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Good morning to you. Over here on TikTok, let's see. 140.6 Walnut Creek, California. Quail Ridge, Lincoln, California. Annie AFF from Kentucky. Nikki from Connecticut. Linda Gale from St. Louis. You're having a heat wave. It's going to be 50 degrees. 50 is pretty good for December. That's pretty good for December. I remember I was playing in Montenegro. We got 50 degrees is about as cold as it got. I wasn't mad at that. Barbie, good morning from South Florida. Carol Ann Collins, Newburgh, New York. Dwayne Mitchell, Detroit in the house. Kami Kill, Can't See Me, Vermont is in the house. Ron Johnson, Lima, Ohio. Andrea Leavitt, Tupin, good morning. Sarah L. from Naples, Florida. Shout out to Naples. Ashley Matt checking in from Fayetteville, Arkansas. Mindy from Iowa. GGB said fly. Thank you for the gifts. Checking in from Florida. Carla, Indiana, good morning. Kuya Binya Shara, Manson, North Carolina. Valentine Lopez said the sheriffs of Bridgeview, Illinois. What does that even mean? But okay. User 81 from Los Angeles. Kristen Energy from Lincoln, Nebraska. Good morning. LAC Ill from New Jersey over there on Instagram. Gene, good morning from New York. Cool V from Compton, California. Tez NY from Virginia. Christy Epster from Sparks, Nevada. Aretha Bussey from Catonsville, Maryland. Marky Man checking in from Sacramento. Scott Young from North Carolina. Jay Rocker from Delaware. GGB, good morning. Amy Lynn, good morning. Grace Bristol from North Carolina. Tony from Nashville, Tennessee. Billie Jean from Indiana. Jackie from Fernandina Beach, Florida. I have not heard of Fernandina Beach, Florida. Let me look that up, see where that is. That's a location I have not heard of yet. So it's interesting when someone is checking in from a place I haven't heard of. Fernandina Beach, Florida. Let's see. Okay, so y'all are all the way up at the tip, right on the edge. So you could basically walk into South Carolina or Georgia. That's Georgia. Okay, so you're right near the border of Georgia, north of Jacksonville, all the way up here in the corner. Okay. I've never heard of this place, but now I know about it. Fernandina Beach, Florida. I've not heard of this town, but now we know about it. Shout out to Fernandina Beach, Florida. Rebel Mellow Yellow from Staunton, Virginia. K Nor from Alabama. Cure Fan SC from Connecticut. User 81 from Michael Johnson, Rancho. Well, that is Michael Johnson from Rancho Cucamonga, California. KS Priest from Georgia. Camulus from Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri. Good morning. Tammy Slater from Michigan. Echoes 9711. Good morning. Scooter 5150 from Pueblo, Colorado. I have been there. Good morning to them. Annex Irmo, said Irma. I don't know where that is. Christy Power of Wellness, Spanish Fort, Alabama. All right, shout out to Spanish Fort, Alabama. So the topic here today, everybody, I told you what we were talking about, is that there was a meeting between Erika Kirk and Candace Owens. We all know what's been happening with Candace Owens, specifically the last 3 months. She has brought us on a saga of what she believes is her search to uncover the truth about what actually happened to Charlie Kirk what was happening to Charlie Kirk before he got assassinated, what happened when he got assassinated, why he got assassinated, who's responsible for it, who knew what, who's not telling the truth, et cetera, et cetera. Y'all know Candace Owens has been going on and on about this stuff for the last 3 months. Everybody knows that. Now, what happened is Erika Kirk, as she went on her press tour for Charlie Kirk's book. So those of you who don't understand, Charlie Kirk wrote a book that he had not yet finished when he passed. Erika Kirk helped make sure the book was complete, and now she is out promoting the book. So she's been on a press tour, and in addition to talking about the book, most of the stuff that has been pulled out of her press tour, nobody's talking about the book because nobody really gives a damn about the book. People do give a damn about the book, but I'm saying people really don't give a damn about the book because everybody wants to know what the hell is Turning Point USA doing. She got named the new CEO of the company. What do y'all think about this Candace Owens stuff? Because Candace Owens has made the most noise about Charlie Kirk's death amongst everybody. Doesn't mean that she cares the most. Doesn't mean that she's right, but she's made the most noise. Everybody's talking about Charlie Kirk since he passed. After a week or two of the news cycle, people still talking about it because of Candace Owens. Everybody knows this. And Erika Kirk is getting asked questions about Candace Owens because she's the one who keeps talking about it. And Erika Kirk has been answering questions, but she's been generally very cagey, using a lot of righteous indignation. Hey, my husband got shot on live TV in front of everybody. I got kids. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. And my husband got shot in that way, most tragic way to get him taken away. And I'm still dealing with the grief of being a widow and being a mom. And people are asking me these questions. And Candace Owens is saying these things. And finally, Barry Weiss, when Erika Kirk was being interviewed by Barry Weiss in a quote unquote town hall that just happened a few days ago, it was a whole nothing burger of a town hall as far as I'm concerned. I got other opinions about Barry Weiss we won't get into here today. And Erika Kirk was asked specifically about Candace Owens. What about Candace Owens? She's saying these things. And Barry Weiss kind of strawmanned what Candace Owens has been saying. But long story short, Erika Kirk's response was, stop, just stop. That's all she said. Just stop. She didn't say anything else. And this is all leading up to December 15th, which was D-Day for TPUSA. They were planning, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, they were planning to do a live stream where they, mostly the men at Turning Point USA and the men around Turning Point USA, many of whom Candace Owens has been fingering and pointing out and flat out accusing of doing some nefarious things around Charlie Kirk, the money at TPUSA, what happened to Charlie Kirk. She's been throwing their names out there and implicating them in things that she's not quite directly saying exactly what they did, but she thinks they did something and knew something and it has something to do with what happened to Charlie Kirk. And Candace clearly doesn't appear too happy about this. And they clearly are not too happy about it. So those men, whoever they were, they didn't say specific names. Blake Neff was the one who put the announcement out. He's the producer of the Charlie Kirk Show. They were going to have a big get-together in Phoenix. That's where Turning Point is based. And they were going to do a live stream, basically taking everything that Candace Owens has been saying about them and towards them. And basically they were going to, this is not their words, but my words. They were going to have a bash session. They were going to basically get together and group bash Candace Owens during a live stream that was supposed to happen yesterday. Now, here's what did happen. Erika Kirk put out a post on social media Sunday night where she announced that there would not be a live stream because Erika and Candace had decided to have a private face-to-face meeting to discuss matters. Candace Owens, actually, let me back up. Candace Owens was somewhat invited to this live stream that was happening in Phoenix and somewhat not invited. It had to be in person. You got to be there in person to have the meeting. It was never made any sense to me. Some people say. And then some people say, well, Candace did say anytime, any place. She did say that. And anytime, any place could be anytime and any place. Then TPUSA put out this arbitrary date and time and location. Candace Owens said, well, let me do a live stream. And they said, well, if you can't be here in person, then we'll do it without you. And it seemed like, I don't know if Candace seriously wanted to have that conversation. I don't know if Turning Point USA seriously wanted to have the conversation. So this became this whole clusterfuck of just everybody talking about it, making content about an unresolved situation, which is great for people like me because I could just keep talking about it. Candace can keep making her podcast and Turning Point USA can continue to look bad. But cooler heads prevailed, it appears, because what happened is Erika Kirk announced Sunday night that she and Candace Owens had somehow, some way, had a conversation. We don't know exactly how that conversation happened, who called who, we don't know. But Erika Kirk announced that they would be having a private meeting so that they could clear the air between the two of them. And she is the CEO of Turning Point USA. So this would help with the grieving wife of Charlie Kirk, a friend of Charlie Kirk, and the CEO of Turning Point USA all having a meeting of the minds and hopefully clearing the air in this situation. As I said yesterday, it's better if everybody can be. We can disagree, but at least be cool. I mean, Charlie Kirk didn't lose his life. I mean, we don't want people losing their lives or anybody getting physically attacked in any way out here over political discourse. That shouldn't be happening. We should be able to have political conversation verbally and solve it verbally in the marketplace of ideas. Whether you agree with Candace Owens, whether you think Candace Owens is crazy, whether you agree with Turning Point, whether you're on the political left, political right, we should be able to have civil discourse about these type of things, even if there is a high degree of gentle with the door. And there's a high degree of disagreement. So that's where I left it yesterday. And I told you we'd be talking about this here today. I thought we would maybe get some feedback from both ladies as to what exactly happened. Candace Owens only put out a post that said, hey, we did have the meeting. It went like 4 hours. I'm exhausted. I'll be talking about it tomorrow being today. So on Candace's show today, she's going to tell us whatever happened, wherever she's at. And we'll probably know by as of her episode release today if Candace Owens is going to continue on her saga as far as what she is trying to uncover from this whole situation, the Egyptian planes and Israel and the government and the who did what and all this stuff. Is she going to keep going or is she going to curtail it? Is she going to slow it down? Is it completely over? We don't know as of today. But we are going to talk about why this meeting happened, how it happened, and what we think. Led to this whole situation as far as the meeting. We know what led to the situation, but as far as the meeting. Now, for months, we know Candace Owens has been doing what she's been doing. She's been bashing Turning Point USA. She's been getting a lot of negative feedback from a lot of people on the political right. It appears very coordinated and strategized as far as I'm concerned. I've seen a lot of it from a lot of people who I overall like their stuff, but it seems like they all got a little bit of what I call CDS, Candace Derangement Syndrome, bashing her over the last month or so. I believe TPUSA was fueling this and pushing it and maybe even paying for it. No, I have no evidence, but I believe that they were. Actually, I do have evidence. I don't have proof that they were doing this over the last month or so. But this is all part of the game. This is all part of the game in an open marketplace of ideas. If you come out here with an idea and people don't like your idea, they can bash you. Candace Owens came out with an idea. A lot of people liked it. That's why she gets millions of views per episode. A lot of people didn't like it, which is why she has a whole bunch of detractors bashing her all at the same time. This is the game that you get in when you decide to turn on the camera and put yourself out there in the world, especially when you draw a ton of attention, which Candace Owens has been able to do. Now, Erika Kirk in her press tour, she does not do an hour a day like Candace Owens does, but in her interview, she said enough to make it clear that the conspiracy speculation, and by the way, conspiracy does not necessarily mean it's not true. The conspiracy speculation has been damaging to her as a widow, damaging to her as a mother, damaging to her as a CEO. Those things can all be true, while at the same time, my criticism of Erika Kirk up to this point has been that she has been using her hurt emotions as a shield from answering any questions. And that's still a criticism that I have of her, because you're the CEO. Yes, you are a grieving widow, and yes, you are a mother of young children, but you also decided to become a CEO. And when you become the CEO, now you have to answer for what's going on with that organization. Your underlings clearly are fumbling the ball, which is why Candace has so much momentum, because her underlings at TPUSA have been fumbling the communication when it comes to dealing with the Candace Owens momentum / backlash / questions, whatever you want to call it. And Erika Kirk, I don't think she's that great of a communicator, but she is the CEO, and she is a woman, and she is the wife of Charlie Kirk. So she has some cachet with especially on the political right, with the people. So people are willing to listen to what she has to say. Thus, Candace Owens was willing to have a meeting with her personally. I don't think there's anyone else at TPUSA who could have got Candace to agree to a one-on-one in-person meeting. We don't even know where this meeting happened. We don't know if it was in Candace's place or if Candace went to Phoenix. We don't know what happened here. A lot of people are throwing out speculation. We'll probably find out when Candace comes out with her episode, maybe, whatever happens to it. So again, Candace came out and said this meeting lasted about 4.5 hours. And at that time, well, before that, Erika Kirk announced that both of them had agreed, her and Candace, there would be no live streams, no posts, no podcast episodes, etc., talking about any of this until after the two women had met. Now, as of right now, the two women have already met. And Candace says she's going to put out an episode talking about whatever happened. Again, we don't know what happened because Candace hasn't said anything else. Erika Kirk has not said anything else. Now, both have described the meeting as, actually, let me not even go off that. Let me just tell you what they said directly from their social media. By the way, I'm pulling this right from both of their social media accounts. So any of you want to know where this happened. So Erika Kirk said in a post that got 1.2 million views. She put this out last night at about 8:30, so almost exactly 12 hours ago. Erika Kirk put out this post. Had a very productive conversation with Candace Owens. More to come from both of us. Looking forward to AmFest this week. Time to get back to work. So AmFest is the big event that Turning Point USA does. I've never been to this event. Any of you ever been to AmFest? I've never been to the event. I heard it's like the biggest event in the biggest event on the political right, as far other than the Republican National Convention, is the biggest event that they have. So AmFest is happening this week out there in Arizona. So this is a big deal for Turning Point USA. So that's what Erika Kirk is referring to. Looking forward to AmFest this week. And all the Republican or conservative influencers are all at this event. And if you looked at the graphic for the AmFest event, which I saw last week, you notice that a lot of the people who've been bashing Candace Owens for the last month, they're all speaking at AmFest. So you can take that for what it's worth. Now, here's what Candace Owens said. Candace Owens said, she wrote a little bit more. Erika and she posted this at 8:17 p.m. So her update was about 10 minutes before Erika's. This got 4.3 million views on X last night. Erika and I had an extremely productive 4.5-hour meeting that I think we both feel should have taken place a lot earlier than it did. I agree with that. We agreed much more than I had anticipated. Of course, we also disagreed on various points and people as well. Most importantly, we were able to share intel and clarify intent. It's an important sentence. I'll come back to that. I will, of course, have a full rundown for you all tomorrow, as I am currently exhausted. But I want to quickly let you guys know that absolutely nothing was held back, and the immediate result was that tensions were thawed. Period. Close quote. That's the end of Candace Owens' statement. That sounds to me like she's not done. She said, most importantly, this sentence that I told you I'll come back to. Most importantly, we were able to share intel and clarify intent. That sentence that I have highlighted there. This is straight from Candace Owens' X feed, by the way. All of you can find this. Clarify intent, which sounds like they're both getting clear on what they're trying to do. In other words, it sounds like, again, I'm just reading between the lines here. Candace Owens let Erika Kirk know the reason I'm doing the things that I'm doing is because I am really trying to find out what happened to Charlie Kirk. And I know he was your husband, but that does not give you, again, this is just my theory. That does not give you, Erika, the final say over who can say what and who can look for what and who can ask what with regards to your husband. I know you can try to use that in the public sphere, but that doesn't mean that whatever you say is final about Charlie Kirk, because other people cared about him too. And if somebody wants to ask a question, they have a right to ask a question. If you have and or are telling the truth and you don't mind questions, because your truth will stand up to any question. Again, Candace Owens didn't say that. I'm saying that when she says we were able to clarify intent, it sounds to me like Candace Owens is letting Erika know, like, hey, bitch, this is what I'm doing. Here's why I'm doing it. And this is where I'm going with it. Whereas Erika was looking at Candace and saying, hey, bitch, that was my husband. And you are saying these things that are hurting our company, hurting our organization, maybe hurting the conservative movement for these 2026 midterms. Again, Erika didn't say this. This is my theory. And the two of them just had a hey, bitch meeting. And they both got clear on exactly where they stand. And that's where it's at. Again, I'm being facetious here, but I'm also being serious. So I think that's where this conversation stands. And let me introduce myself, then we'll get further into this and we'll go into some more. Right now, all we have is speculation, ladies and gentlemen, as to what happened. That's all we have from that meeting is what I just gave you right there. Okay. Well, everything I just gave you are the hard facts because we only have two people. They had a private meeting. It wasn't on TV. It was not streamed. We heard what one person said about it. We heard what the other person said about it. They both sound very cliche, very press ready statements from both of them. And that's all we got factually. All right. Everything else is going to happen from this point forward is just our theories, our opinions, and our views on what happened, why it happened, and what we think. Everybody clear on that? Good. For those who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin. Many know me as Dre All Day, former 9-year pro athlete, author of a few books, done a few TED Talks. I run this company called Work on Your Game Incorporated. What we do here is we help top level performers get to their highest possible level when it comes to your mindset, strategy, your systems, and your execution. You want to learn more about that, just send me a text message. My number is 305-384-6894. The number's in my profile on all of these apps or in the description or the pinned comment. Number again, 305-384-6894. I will put that number in. I just put it in on Rumble X YouTube, and yeah, that's it. Facebook, you can see it. LinkedIn, y'all can find it. Instagram is in my links on my profile, and TikTok is in my bio. So all that said, let's get into this. This meeting, allegedly, according to what both ladies said, and this is what I predicted yesterday. I said, well, both of these combatants being women, both of them being emotional, and women having a lower emotional threshold in terms of breaking points than men having, I would guess that these two women coming together would cool things down, was what Candace said, that the intensity was thawed. So they cooled things off. It was a cold thing between the two of them. Now they cooled it off as a little bit warmer, but she didn't say that they walked out friends. It's not like they put out a joint statement. So I figured this would happen. They would de-escalate in some way. I'm not quite sure Candace is done, though. I don't think Candace is finished. What do y'all think? Y'all think Candace is going to keep going, or you think Candace is just going to stop? Y'all think Candace keep going or stop? In the comments, what do y'all think? I think Candace keeps going. Y'all tell me. I think Candace keeps going. I think she may scale back her rhetoric, the fieriness of her rhetoric, maybe a little bit, but I don't think she's going to completely stop at this point. I don't think that meeting with Erika Kirk is going to stop her from doing what she's going to do. Yeah, Midnight Passion, what you just said, that's what I'm saying. I think she's going to keep going, but just maybe cool it down just a little bit. But I think she's going to keep going because Candace got a good thing going here. She has millions of people watching every episode of her show, and she is a content creator. This is part of her business. She does make money doing it, and there's nothing wrong with making money doing something that is honest business. She's not scamming anybody. Some people are calling what she's doing a grift, but you can't call it a grift. If you're not scamming people, it's not a grift. A grift is a dishonest way of making money. So she's not making money dishonestly. The people who are giving her money like what she's saying. Now, if you don't like what she's saying, that does not make it a grift. Again, it's like, I may not like the fact that you do OnlyFans, but you're not scamming the people who are paying you. That means it's not a grift. I may disagree with it, but that's not a grift. So y'all be careful using that word grift until you understand exactly what it means. Now, a public showdown would have deepened fractures and forced the movement to pick sides. And that's why that TPUSA live stream. Here's the other thing that I think. I think Erika Kirk realized that if we do this being that live stream that they were supposed to do yesterday, if I allow my team, Blake Neff and Andrew Colvett and these guys to do that live stream, and they go on and they start basically taking Candace's arguments, watering them down, making them sound silly, i.e. using a straw man against Candace, and taking things that she said, but then making it into a different version of something that she didn't say, and then arguing against it. That's called the straw man, by the way. Strawberry cheesecake. I think Erika Kirk, as a smart enough woman, she realized that if I let these guys go out there and do that, Candace Owens is going to have a field day with this. She's going to take all the things that they say that are not what she actually said, and she's going to turn it around on them, and she's going to use everything that they say against them. Just like the cops say when you get arrested. Everything you say can and will be used against you. I think Erika Kirk calculated and smartly realized, all right, we can't beat Candace at this game. We cannot beat her at this game of podcasting and live streaming and social media back and forth. We can't win. We don't have anyone on our team good enough. We don't have the momentum. She's got all the momentum on her side. The burden of proof is really on us because we're the ones saying don't ask any more questions. No matter what we do, we lose if we keep going down this path. How about we figure out how to get out of this? And that's why I believe Erika Kirk called Candace Owens. I am not reporting that, just my theory. Why? Because they couldn't win. I told y'all this 2 weeks ago. Turning Point USA had no possible way of winning if they kept doing the internet game. The back and forth, publishing on the internet. She says something, y'all say something, go back and forth. Y'all can't win. It's clearly they're losing right now. All right, if this was a boxing match, this would be a 120 to 108 decision. Those of you who understand boxing. 12 rounds to 0. That's what this was. Turning Point was losing. Now, Turning Point still has fans. They still get donor money. They still have obviously enough money to pay those influencers who are bashing Candace Owens. But they were losing the PR battle. They were losing in the jury of public opinion. They were losing, even though it appeared that they might be fighting because they had all these influencers saying negative things about Candace Owens. It appeared, again, all of them are blue checks. All of them are conservatives. All of them have some connection to Turning Point USA. It was very obvious that they were trying to manufacture it to look like a fight, but they were clearly losing. And Erika Kirk smartest thing she's done so far as CEO is say, all right, let's get out of this fight. This is not the fight that we need to be in. And let's see if we can calm this chick down. And that's why they had that meeting with Candace Owens. Again, just my theory that I'm not reporting this to be true. Now, the private nature of the meeting fuels suspicion. Some say, Candace Owens fans say, that the lack of transparency reinforces existing distrust and conspiracy-minded interpretations. So there's a lot of people out there who think that Candace Owens and Erika Kirk are both sellouts for the political machine. The political machine being political with a capital P, meaning Washington, D.C., Donald Trump, MAGA, and whatever's happening in the Republican Party on the political side, meaning the actual government. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of people in the conservative side in America are not big fans of the government, actually fans of more limited government, less governmental overreach, less governmental oversight, even if that means less influence of President Donald Trump, even though Charlie Kirk helped Donald Trump get elected. Because a lot of people on the conservative side have not been so happy with some of the things coming out of the Trump camp over this past year, specifically the whole situation with the Epstein stuff, whole situation with the costs for everyday people, and situation with Israel. And a lot of people on the political right are just not happy with what Donald Trump's done up to this point, while at the same time they're saying, well, let's all get back in line so that we can win the midterm, so at least we don't give it over to the Democrats. So we're not doing great, but we can't let them take control. That becomes a whole different conversation. Now, what some people are saying is that they believe that Turning Point, first of all, is still very deep in the pocket with the Republican Party, i.e. the capital P politics. I agree with that because they still take a lot of donor money and they use that money to help Republicans win elections. We know this to be true. And at the same time, they say Erika having this meeting with Candace Owens might be a kind of a quid pro quo, which is you do something for me, I'll do something for you, which is Erika and Turning Point USA saying, look, Candace, look, we got all this money in our accounts. We know you're trying to solve this mystery and we know you got some questions about us, but look, what can we do? How can we make this work that you call off the dogs, stop bashing us on your podcast every day because you're destroying us and making us look bad. And how can we get you back on our side, at least not bashing us? You don't have to be our friend, but at least stop bashing us and help us do what we got to do so that the Republicans can stay in control in these 2026 midterms, which are looming. And right now it's looking like the Republicans are going to lose those midterms. The midterms were today, the Republicans would lose. So I've been giving y'all the midterm prediction updates for the last month. The midterms were today. The Democrats will take back both sides of Congress. So if that is your number one priority, and it might be Turning Point's number one priority, I'm not reporting this, just theorizing, they needed to get Candace to stop, get her foot off their necks because they are a very powerful organization when it comes to moving conservatives to the ballot box to actually vote or getting people who might not be either conservative nor liberal to lean conservative so they can actually go vote and vote conservative so that the Republicans can win. Candace Owens putting her foot on their necks hurts their prospects of being able to do that successfully. Which is why the angle that a lot of people on the right, people like Tim Pool, were using to bash Candace, because they're like, well, she's hurting the Republican chance of winning the election. Well, what does winning the election have to do with, what does the death of Charlie Kirk have to do with winning a damn election? If I really care about Charlie Kirk's life, I don't care about the elections. If me trying to figure out what happened to Charlie Kirk causes the Republicans to lose the election, so what? If I really care about it, if you believe Candace, and I do believe that she really cares about what happened to Charlie Kirk, and if that means well, the Republicans don't win the election because I'm trying to solve the mystery of what happened to Charlie Kirk, I can understand that. Now, a lot of people on the Republican side did not clearly understand that, or either they did and they just acted like they didn't. So they were bashing Candace Owens. I have heard, actually, I don't believe this, but I've heard that many people are saying that maybe this is both of those sides, Candace and TPUSA, colluding, and they're all going to get back on the same page to just make sure that the Republicans stay in political power, and they're going to chill on trying to find out what happened to Charlie Kirk. Some are saying that. I don't know exactly how that will work, but we'll see. I'm just putting it on the record just to make sure people know that that was said. Now, Erika Kirk has protected her family from further public spectacle. I think she's done a pretty good job of that. She was generally very quiet other than this press tour that she's been on the last 2 weeks. The problem with the press tour she's been on the last 2 weeks is that everybody's been asking questions about her and her organization. She hasn't been saying anything. And she came out with, again, I'm a grieving wife and a mother, but at the same time, leaving out the fact that she's the chief executive officer of Turning Point USA. And they've taken in 9 figures in donations ever since the death of Charlie Kirk. And she's not saying anything. So everybody is sitting there like, what the hell is going on? And if you have donors giving you money, donors want answers. One thing you all have to understand, if you ever get involved in politics, you're taking donor money. You don't spend your own money to win elections. You use other people's money. OPM, as we say in business. You take other people's money, other people have questions, and you got to answer those questions. And if you don't answer other people's questions to their satisfaction, they will take their OPM, their money, and they will take it elsewhere. Erika Kirk has been answering any questions for the last 90 days, and people have still been giving money. But eventually that's going to stop. If you're not answering questions, I'm not going to keep giving you money. So Erika Kirk had to come out and give some answers, especially when somebody else is asking questions that everybody else is saying, damn, that's actually a good question, Candace. Erika, how about it? And she's not saying anything. So it made them look suspect. So this is the issue for Erika Kirk, which she still has not yet addressed. She needs to answer these questions. The questions are you running this company or not? And can you start giving us some damn answers about where the company's going, what you're doing, how you're going to do it, et cetera, et cetera. I'm predicting, with 97% certainty, she's going to give a fiery speech at the AmFest this week here in Phoenix when they have this event. Erika Kirk's going to get on the stage. She's going to get a hero's welcome because she's the wife of the guy who got shot, and emotions will be high. She's going to give a speech where she talks about where things are going to go. It's basically going to be a campaign speech is what she's going to give. Issue with campaign speeches is that they're often short on details, and I think people want details now. And Candace Owens has opened a gaping hole in those details that hole still needs to be filled or closed. And Erika Kirk needs to get on this like yesterday. And I'm saying before the end of this year, Erika Kirk needs to answer these questions. So the fiery speech is going to be good. It's going to go over well at AmFest because that's all their fans. These are people who buy tickets to go to this event run by Turning Point USA. So it's going to go over well there. It's kind of like Trump speaking at a MAGA rally. He's not going to get booed at his own event. But eventually you still got to come with some actual substance. And Erika Kirk has yet to do that. So that question still looms. So as a CEO, allegedly she's trying to stabilize the organization while at the same time shielding her family from attacks. But nobody's attacking her family. Nobody's attacking Erika Kirk's family. Nobody's saying anything about the kids. Nobody's saying anything about, Erika Kirk did it or anything like that. Not even Candace. People just asking questions about the organization, and she's using her family and her emotions as a shield from answering those questions. You can't do that forever. It works for a little bit, but not forever. That act wears thin, especially when you got money involved. Now, meeting with Candace privately, some say that this legitimizes Candace's past claims. I say absolutely it does. So any of you who say that whatever Candace has been doing has been illegitimate and useless and dumb and grifting and whatever other words you want to use to describe it, well, look where it landed. Look where it landed, both of them. The CEO of the organization, Turning Point, and the wife of Charlie Kirk agreed to have a private meeting with Candace because they're trying to quiet her down. Because, again, Candace is kicking their ass in the media over the last 90 days. And everybody knows this is true. Even if you don't like Candace, you have to admit she's been kicking their ass to the point that Erika Kirk, amidst her book tour for Charlie Kirk's book, she has to come out and have this conversation with Candace and let everybody know the conversation is happening. She took the live stream that Turning Point USA was going to do, the men. We're going to knock down all of Candace's nonsense. And she canceled that, basically superseded that, said, y'all not doing that live stream. I'm the boss. You're not doing the live stream because I'm going to go meet with the person that y'all were about to talk about for 3 hours on a live stream. Clearly, Candace has had an impact. She's had enough of an impact that they went that far. So does it legitimize what Candace has done for the last 90 days? The answer is absolutely it does. Again, even if you don't like Candace, this meeting legitimized everything she did for the last 90 days because the CEO of the company is now meeting with her privately to try to calm her down and call off the dogs. Is it going to work? We will see. Probably by this time tomorrow, we'll know if it worked or not. Now, critics say that it elevates the speculation that had already been publicly rejected. I say, first of all, the speculation was not publicly rejected. I say some people push back. Some people push back to the pushback. And the speculation that Candace has put out there still lingers in the air. It's still sitting in the air. And it's going to continue to sit in the air until or unless, number one, that trial for Tyler Robinson goes through and he is convicted or not convicted. If he's not convicted, then Candace Owens is going to have 10 million people watching her next episode instead of 1 million. And also if and when new information gets introduced into the investigation, i.e. specifically from the FBI, who's not saying anything. And the way Candace has positioned things, they never say anything. So just to be clear, but for them, they're not going to come out and respond to Candace Owens. That would be unbecoming of the FBI. But if they go through that trial with Tyler Robinson in Utah and he gets found not guilty, you thought Candace Owens had some momentum now? Okay, wait till that happens. If that occurs. Again, we haven't even gotten there yet, but if that happens, that'd be crazy. Continuing. Now, Candace avoided a public debunking that could damage her credibility, some say. So what Turning Point USA was framing their live stream on December 15th, yesterday, they were framing it as we're going to basically debunk all Candace's bullshit. I already told y'all when that video came out from Blake Neff a week and a half ago, they're not about to debunk a damn thing. All they're about to do is just straw man all her arguments. They're going to take everything that she said. They're going to make it sound, they're going to give you the silly version of what she said, not what she actually said. Then they're going to argue against the silly version, which is known as a straw man. And they were going to do that without Candace in the room to say, hey, no, that's wrong. That's not what I said. Yeah, to refute them. Without anybody to refute them, they were just going to have a one-sided conversation saying, here's what Candace said, here we're going to go after it. This shit doesn't work anymore. So for this, I will give a point to Erika Kirk. As I said, one positive thing I say with Erika Kirk is that she stopped that live stream, because that live stream was not going to help Turning Point. It was going to make them look bad. It was going to make them look worse, and Candace was going to make it look even worse than the worst they were going to make themselves look. They were going to clown themselves, and then she was going to clown them on top of them clowning themselves had they done that live stream. And the reason why is because people are a bit too smart for that now. You can't do that these days. You can't straw man somebody's argument. If somebody puts an argument out on their podcast and then you come out and say, well, they said this, and then you argue against it, and that's not what they actually said, most of the people who heard it are going to say that's not what they said. So you're arguing against you're fighting against a ghost. That's not what they said. That's some bullshit. And it makes you look even more suspect. The fact that you won't address the actual point, but you address a cheap version of the point, it makes you look even more deceptive when you're already being exposed or being accused of being deceptive. And that's why Turning Point really, really, really shouldn't have done that live stream yesterday. That's why, again, I give credit to Erika Kirk for stopping them from doing that live stream, because that really would have hurt them had they done that live stream. And right before their biggest event of the year, that would have been a PR nightmare for them. They still would have had their fans at their event, but long term, that would have been a bad outcome. So this closed door meeting right now doesn't produce a clear quote unquote winner in this situation. I don't think there will be one. And I don't think Erika Kirk wants a head-on battle with Candace Owens. Erika Kirk is not verbally equipped to go head-on with Candace Owens. And again, this is reiterates what I said earlier. There's no one in the TPUSA camp, at least the known names that we know about, who is equipped in terms of the verbal dexterity to go head-to-head with Candace Owens, episode for episode, debate for debate. There's nobody. So this is why this is a good idea by Erika Kirk. So again, credit to Erika Kirk for doing this. Amongst everything that she's done, this is one thing you must give her credit for. Now, as far as as far as this pause in, no, let me back up. Owens' pattern of monetizing this controversy. Some say that Candace Owens has just been trying to monetize this whole thing. She's making money. What was Erika Kirk saying the other day? Somebody's making hundreds of thousands of dollars. No, Barry Weiss, I think, said that. She's building her platform on doing this and making hundreds of thousands of dollars every episode. Like, no. You don't make hundreds of thousands of dollars from a live stream on YouTube. Now, you can make a good couple thousands. Hundreds of thousands? No, I wouldn't go that far. So you can make a good couple thousands between your ad revenue and between the ads that she already has, because I don't think she runs no more YouTube ads, but she has baked in ads. Then she has her super chats. Candace can make a couple thousand off every episode that she puts out, but there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you're making something that people want and they're willing to exchange their money for it, then that's an honest business. Again, you don't have to like what they're doing, but it's an honest business. Being an OnlyFans model, everybody doesn't like it, but it's an honest business because the people who are as part of the transaction, I'm going to give you this, you're going to give me money. If everybody agrees, then it can't be a grift. A grift is when someone is being dishonestly scammed out of their money. It's not dishonest that the people agree to it and they agree to give you money in exchange for what you're doing. Again, everybody does not have to agree to it. Now, the pause in public commentary cooled this online firestorm, but all I think is it just gives everybody a pause to get ready with bated breath, waiting for the next thing to come out. And that's probably going to be Candace's next episode, which will probably get, this probably get 2 million views, I would guess. Now, the truce may be fragile and temporary. That's the whole issue. Who knows if these two are actually going to be friendly now, if Candace is going to call off the dogs, or what's happening. Looking at Candace's position, I don't see why. I don't see why she would. Why would Candace stop? Can anybody tell me? Why would she stop? Somebody give me an answer in the comments. Why would she stop doing her podcasting after meeting with Erika Kirk? What could possibly have been said to her in that meeting that would cause Candace to stop doing her podcast about what happened to Charlie Kirk? I don't think Erika Kirk presented Candace with any overwhelming evidence that says, hey, here's why everything you said in your podcast is wrong, or you got this fact wrong. I don't think the meeting had anything to do with any of that. Now, maybe some of it got brought up. Hey, here's what the FBI has told us, et cetera, et cetera. And being that Erika is the wife of Charlie Kirk, she has access to information from the FBI that Candace does not have access to. So she probably got some of that. And she probably got asked to not share all of that. Candace will probably say that. I can't share that because that's confidential between the FBI and the wife. But she did tell me these things. So with that said, I'm not going to talk about this or this anymore. She might go that angle. That I can predict that possibly happening. So I don't know where this is going. R. Philly said AK asked her to stop. Who was that? Andrew Colvett? So it doesn't matter what he asked. So somebody said they paid her. Possibly. They threatened her family. Possibly. But Candace Owens' husband, he has resources too. So I think she might have more ability to threaten than they do. She said if Erika asked to stop, she would. But obviously, this was not true. Well, at that time, Erika hadn't actually said Candace's name. She just said stop to the people. She didn't say Candace Owens. And she hadn't reached out to Candace. Obviously, they have a line to each other. Erika never reached out to Candace. So again, it becomes semantics when it comes to the anytime, any place is semantics. The Erika asked her to stop is semantics. Clearly, Erika Kirk and Candace Owens know each other. Erika and Charlie were at Candace Owens' wedding. So clearly they know each other. They have each other's phone numbers. Erika Kirk could have called Candace Owens in October. She didn't do it. And that's when she could have asked Candace to stop. And it doesn't have to happen on a live stream or a podcast or an interview. She could have asked Candace on a personal level, hey, can you please stop doing what you're doing? She never did it. There was no conversation. They didn't have a conversation until yesterday. So to say that Erika asked Candace Owens to stop because of something that she said directionally, not mentioning Candace specifically, but directionally 4 days ago in some interview that she was doing that's not asking somebody to stop. Asking me to stop is you reach out to me directly and you have a direct conversation with me on a personal level, not some interview that you do where you won't even say my name. That's not the same thing. But that is semantics. And some people will see it one way, some will see it another way. Fine. Now, this shared intel that Candace suggests that both sides confronted claims directly, maybe, and now some private evidence review that Candace has done. Again, she may not be at liberty to share all of that stuff. Now, is more responsible than speculative broadcasting, but that's assuming that Erika told her anything useful, answered any questions that Candace has. We don't know. And I think, just thinking about this myself, with no background in investigations, is that if TPUSA knew that something that Candace had put out was some nonsense, they could have reached out to her on some level and just said, hey, we have this, this, and this. If they believed that Candace had genuine intentions. And I think that TPUSA does think that Candace Owens has genuine intentions. It's just that I think that they thought it would eventually just go away and people would get tired of listening to Candace. They calculated incorrectly. So again, this is a communications error that TPUSA has made. Communication, by the way, folks, is not only what you say, but also what you absorb. That they misjudged that the absorption of what Candace was doing was going to make people bored and get tired of listening to her when it actually did the opposite. And they eventually said, okay, we got to do something about this, which is how we got here. Now, no independent verification of this intel exists. So again, we don't know what the intel is. We'll probably get some of it alluded to us by Candace on her next episode, but who knows what she's at liberty to share. And many people have decided they don't believe Candace. So now where do we go from this? We might end up right back in the same place. Now, this meeting signaled maturity from Erika Kirk under pressure, as I already explained. There's a smart calculation by Erika Kirk because they couldn't win if it went the other way. Let's see if we can get her back on our side. I don't know if they did successfully. We will find out based on the tone of Candace's next episode and if she keeps putting out episodes the rest of this week on this same subject. I believe that she will in some way. Why would she pivot from this? Because she has a ton of momentum right now. Why would you give that up? I don't know what Erika Kirk possibly have said to her to get her to stop. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I thought that, what was the thing I said I was wrong about? I was thinking that TPUSA thing was going to be just more fuel on the fire, but it didn't even happen because they had this meeting. I didn't think that meeting would occur. Now, some TPUSA loyalists view the meeting as unnecessary appeasement of Candace Owens, which I just mentioned. Some people who really mess with TPUSA say, why is Erika even meeting with Candace? But you notice none of them really bashed that because, first of all, if they're getting paid by Turning Point USA or encouraged by Turning Point USA or both to bash Candace Owens, they can't go bash Erika Kirk. So when Erika announced having that meeting, nobody bashed Erika for having a meeting with Candace Owens. But I thought Candace Owens was a grifter. Isn't Candace Owens supposed to be the grifter? She's dishonest. She's demonic. I've heard some church people saying that Candace Owens is demonic. She's evil. She's sent by the devil to do the things that she's doing. All the people who are saying that about Candace Owens, now the leader of the organization that is paying you to bash her just decided to have a meeting with her. So what does that make Erika Kirk? Influencers. What does that make her? Notice none of them had anything negative to say about Erika having a meeting with Candace Owens. But I thought Candace Owens was demonic. I thought she was terrible. I thought she was the scum of the earth. I thought she was the ultimate grifter. She's all these negative things, yet the head of the organization that you get paid by just decided to sit down and have a meeting with this woman for 4.5 hours. But nobody had anything negative to say about Erika for doing that. Huh? Why is that? And we all know why. Answer is all these people, these influencers you see in bashing Candace Owens, none of these people are speaking for themselves. They're speaking for the paycheck. They're doing what they're told to do. And it's an interesting dynamic, because I, as an entrepreneur myself, I don't ever want to be in a position where somebody writing me a check or depositing money into my account can tell me what to say and what not to say. And a lot of your favorite influencers, many of you listening to this, a lot of your favorite influencers don't have as much. They have influence, but they don't have power. And there's a difference. Influence means you got a bunch of people listening to you. Or a lot of people have influence. A clown can have influence. Power is when you can do whatever you want to do, when you want to do it, say what you want to say. And if people don't like it, that doesn't matter who doesn't like it, you can still say it. That's power. A lot of your favorite influencers have no power. Because if Candace Owens is the devil and Erika Kirk's meeting with the devil, then you should be bashing the person who's meeting with the devil since everybody knows that she's the devil. Doesn't that make sense? You're going to go sit for 4.5 hours with this demonic person? Why would you do that? Why would you waste your time and your salvation spending 4.5 hours meeting with a demon? Erika Kirk. The same people who are calling Candace a demon didn't have anything to say about Erika Kirk. Why? Because they have no power. Your favorite influencers have no power. Your pastor has no power. When I say your pastor, what I mean is some of these people on X, I've seen them. Their names say pastor in their name, but they're calling Candace Owens demonic, but they won't bash Erika Kirk for meeting with Candace Owens. Because TPUSA is the one who was telling them to do it. So as soon as TPUSA decides to do something, they got to either ride with it and co-sign it, or they just got to shut the hell up. These are your influencers, folks. These people are bought and paid for. They have no real power. Again, influence and power are not the same thing necessarily. On some levels they are, and on many levels they're not. So some think Candace Owens should have been ignored and not engaged, but Erika Kirk engaging legitimizes everything that Candace Owens was saying, which makes you look at those influencers kind of funny. I want all you go look at your favorite influencers who've been bashing Candace and say, hey, why you been so quiet? Why you been quiet the last 48 hours? Why haven't you said anything about Erika Kirk meeting with this demonic person? You called them demonic on Sunday. Erika met with them on Monday. You ain't say nothing. What happened? I'm interested to know the answer to the question. And you find out who has real power out here and who is just accepting the paycheck. All right, many influencers are nothing more than glorified employees. But continuing, different conversation for a different day. All right, unity-focused conservatives welcome this step towards peace. I understand this. I said this at the beginning of this live stream. I understand that this could be good for people on the conservative side who just want to see conservatives all on the same page, because you never see this kind of type of infighting on the political left. Even if there are some idiots on the political left, they are all on the same page of idiocy. Are they in the same book, in the same page of idiocy, whatever they want to be idiotic about? But on the political right, you see a lot of back and forth sniping, infighting amongst people who are all on the right. And there are some people on the right, Tim Pool, one of them, saying, hey, how about we get everybody on the same page here so we can at least win the election? Isn't that a bigger deal than this back and forth sniping over the death of Charlie Kirk? I say no, it's not. But some conservatives say, yes, it is. I understand. If you believe that it is, I understand. And I understand that having a unity amongst the party can at least help the Republicans hold at least one side, if not both sides of Congress in November of 2026, which will be a big deal. Because if they lose, if the Democrats take over Congress in November of 2026, first of all, Donald Trump won't get shit else done during the rest of his term, his second term. And that will kind of look like a loss on his record because the midterms are usually a reflection of how people feel about the president. And secondly, it's setting the stage for a 2028 blue wave in not only those congressional elections, but also the presidential election. And if Kamala Harris or Gavin Newsom, they're your two front runners, one of them becomes president in 2028 and the Democrats have control of Congress, you already know what's coming. There's a bunch of things coming. One of them being the third impeachment of Donald Trump. That's damn near a guarantee. Oh, the other thing I was wrong about, this I mentioned a minute ago. I was wrong about, I thought Turning Point USA was going to sue Candace Owens for defamation. That might be shelved for now. That's on the shelf for now. She's probably not going to get sued for defamation, at least not yet, because they just had a meeting and it's cool. And maybe Erika Kirk said to her, hey, bitch, you keep going like you're doing, we're going to sue you for defamation. And Candace might have said, I'll consider that, but I'm going to keep going. And it depends on how she does it. And Candace may be a little bit more careful with what she says. Again, toning it down a bit, but still doing what she's doing. That's my best guess as to what happens, but I could be wrong about that. So if I'm wrong about something, I'll point it out. Now, fringe right factions interpret the meeting as proof of a hidden coordination. All right, they feel that this feeds the very narrative that TPUSA was trying to shut down, that they think all these people are all on the same page, and this whole thing was a whole scam to get everybody all excited, and the whole thing is all coordinated, and all of these people, Turning Point USA with their hundreds of millions of dollars in donations, Candace Owens with her rich husband who's from England and whatever he is, he's part of the aristocracy in London, and he has all this money, and Turning Point USA has all this money, and all this is just a big scam to get the everyday peasants all excited, and the whole thing is going to be them getting their way and getting more money out of everybody, and this whole thing is a whole scam. It's just a scam to everyday person. Some people are saying that. I don't know if that's it. I don't know if Candace would go this far doing that for that reason, but hey, I could be wrong. Let's see. We'll find out. Time will tell. Now, the cancellation of this public debate wasn't going to be a debate. It was actually going to be a one-sided conversation. It prevented reputational damage, which I already explained. Turning Point USA was going to shoot themselves in the foot because Candace was just going to take everything they said and bash them. And oh yeah, that other guy in Chicago with the suit, the young guy, Mr. NF, whose name I can't say because he's banned on TikTok. He said he was going to put out a video exposing, quote unquote, exposing Candace Owens and everything that she was about and destroy her reputation in a way she couldn't come back from. That's what he was saying. And I saw the things that he was alleging to. I heard the things he was saying. He was alluding to that he was going to use against Candace Owens. It was a bunch of stuff that we already know about. We know that when she was a teenager, she was part of a lawsuit against a school district for racism, and that she used to be on the left, and that she used to put out stuff doxing people on the right. We know those things. So it was not anything he was going to say that was new information. He was just going to reframe it and put it out as if he was exposing something brand new and it was going to destroy her. And no, it wasn't. All it was going to do is draw more attention to him for having done it. And the people who don't like Candace will love it. And then Candace will come out and bash him back, and it'll be more of the same shit. So he wasn't actually about to do a damn thing, even though he was making it seem like he was going to do something. You know who I'm talking about, right? His first name is Nick, that guy. I can't say his name because he's banned on TikTok. Continuing. Now, the lack of closure keeps speculation alive. And yeah, speculation is not going to pass away here, especially if Candace keeps going with her show. It's not going to go away. And if Candace stops doing her show, it's still not going to go away. Because people are going to be saying, wait, you just stopped out of nowhere just like that? What did Erika say to you? And if Candace won't say, this is going to lead to more speculation. Now, Erika reframed this situation away from conspiracy and toward legacy. She wants to keep Charlie's work central rather than his death central, which I understand. The issue is, when it comes to power dynamics and leadership dynamics, you need a strong central figure who can keep the flame going. And again, right now, Turning Point USA is still riding the wave of, we can't believe they did that to Charlie. That's the wave that they're riding right now. Problem is that wave is not going to go forever. They eventually need a strong voice, a person who can move a crowd out there doing those events for Turning Point USA. Yes, it can be a collection of people who are good, but you need one strong central figure who is that good at the Charlie level to go out there and do it. I don't know if they have anybody in their camp who's good enough to do it. Erika Kirk is not that person. She could be the CEO, but they need a person out there every day, in the streets, so to speak, or in the suburbs, doing these conversations like Charlie Kirk was doing. Who is that? They need to find that person. You need to find them quick, because for these 2026 midterms, you need somebody on that level to help the Republicans win and help frame the conversation around the midterms. Because right now, all the momentum is going on the other side. And Candace Owens retains narrative control until she releases this episode, which, again, she said is coming out today. We'll see. All that said, folks, I'm trying to guess if I can take a restroom break or not. I'm going to pass on the restroom break and let's just get right to it here. Let's get right to the conversation here. For those of you who don't know, I have a soundboard here. If you make a really good comment, you make a good point, I will clap for you. If you straw man anything that's been said by me or anybody else, you put a straw man argument out there, meaning you are reframing a point that was said into something that was not said in order to make it easier to argue against. That's known as a straw man fallacy. It's the most common one seen around here. You get a slice of strawberry cheesecake if you use a straw man. If you use the ad hominem, you do a personal attack on someone. Instead of actually addressing their point, you address the person. You get this.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
That's the ad hominem. If you try to use humor, but you fail, but you're trying to be funny, you get the appeal to ridicule.
Oh, I like your funny words, Magic Man.
If you use the appeal to emotion, you try to make an emotional point when logic is the point at hand, and most of the time is logic around here, then you get this.
Emotional, damn it.
If you use the non sequitur, meaning you are trying to connect 2 points, but there is no real connection to them, so you fail at doing that, you may get one of 2 different sounds. These are 2 that I just use as catch-all sounds. That's this one.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy. Okay.
Or this one.
Have some more chicken. Have some more pie. It doesn't matter if it's boiled or fried.
If you use the loaded comment or the loaded question, where you are presupposing information in the midst of the question, you get the loaded sound. If you get the Russell Westbrook triple-double award, that's when you use 3 logical fallacies or more in the same comment, which is difficult to do, but if you are able to pull it off, you get this award.
Oh, baby, it's triple! Oh, yeah!
Or if you are just going on and on making comments that don't really make sense, it's clearly that you are leaking emotionally and you just keep going and going with different comments, trying to find something to be grasped at, and you may get the Michael Jordan.
Stop it. Get some help.
Or you may get this one.
It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? No more.
Or you may get our new funniest one that people like the most.
Put the phone down. This is for my safety. Put the phone down. This is for my safety. Put the phone down. This is for my safety. Put the phone down.
Someone asks, is there a point value? No, there's no point value. We haven't gotten that far yet. So somebody had to be on here keeping score for all that to happen, or we had to get TikTok involved for all that to go on. So there's no point value. We're just going to put the sounds out there so everybody knows where we're coming from. So Don Persheo over on YouTube said they didn't want Candace to live stream and debunk in real time their claims. Yeah, they were smart to not have her do that because they would have got clowned. Now, hopefully they don't ever do that. They should not do that because they don't have anybody skilled enough to. They need somebody who actually knocked down her actual arguments, not the straw man version of them. The way they framed that statement they put out, I knew they were going to straw man her. The Real Ice says, depends on who the judges are. Many judges are biased towards one side, especially on. Yeah, I understand. Every judge is biased. It doesn't matter how biased. Don Rapeo said they may want Candace back in the fold. Yeah, I mentioned that yesterday on the Jason Whitlock show. Girly Samurai said, I don't understand what she's doing. She has little children. Ain't no way I'd be on a press tour. Well, she's trying to sell books. And she is the CEO, too. You got to remember she has a job. Girly said, I can only think of one thing. Get inside TPUSA to investigate. Well, they're not letting you in. The Real said, I watched videos of Erika about 12 years ago. She seemed like a real person, not a subpar performer that she seems like now. I didn't know much about her until after Charlie Kirk passed. But she doesn't have the speaking skill of Candace Owens nor Charlie Kirk. She's not going to be the face out there on the streets. They need somebody who can be the face out there in the streets. She's not that person. Girlie said, I watched on Exposed about Erika. Her time in Romania was not good. Now I actually distrust EK even more. I've heard people talk about her past. Real said, I don't trust none of these people, but I really distrust the discouragement of questions. I agree with that. Girlie said, fact, some black pastors say black women are unprotected, then attack Candace for filing a race discrimination claim. Yeah, that's a very good point, because what they really mean when they say black, they mean black and you agree with me politically. So they don't mean all black people. They just mean black people on the same side as them politically. Girlie said there are 50 people on YouTube today. All right, that's great. Shout out to YouTube. There should be like 5,000 people on YouTube, but we'll take 50. Shout out to the 50 people on YouTube. Imagine No Color said, I don't trust the snake charmers who blowing the flute, nor the snakes who's dancing. What does that mean? I never heard that metaphor. So over here on TikTok, by the way, on TikTok, I'm reading the comments from the oldest to the newest. I'm not reading every single comment. We only have time for all that. I'm going to read some of the comments, not all of them. And I'm just going to pick out some moderators. You see a good comment, just pin it as a pinned comment, and I'll jump straight to that one, and then we'll just get to the ones that I can get to. So nothing personal if I don't read your comment. Barbie said Democrats are going to take it back this time around. We'll see. If they do, it'll be good material for me because they're going to impeach Donald Trump. So that'll be guaranteed good material for me if they take back the Congress, both sides. Gabby Glammy said, need to answer the question and restore public faith in them. Well, it depends on how much they care about it. That's really what it comes down to. Hobby Ken 2109, good morning. Courageous Pamela said, Candace better not back down. I don't think so. Party Mama said, you're thinking the truth today is all about money. Well, on some levels, it's all about money. Turning Point USA is a not-for-profit, and they do take in donations. That's how they do what they do. They need money. Nothing wrong with money. Nothing wrong with somebody being about money, as long as you're being honest about it. I think Candace is looking for answers, and at the same time, she's making money in the process. That's why I feel like she's kind of in her zone right now. Jamie said, Candace just needs to stop. Why? Redneck says she is trying to make money. Well, as I just said, nothing wrong with making money. What's wrong with making money? Everybody in here has ever had a job before. You were trying to make money. Just trying to make money is not an insult. Why do people use it as if you're doing something wrong? Heck said, I think Erika cares the most about what happened to Charlie. Well, on the basis of what? I get that she's the wife and the mother of his children, at the same time, that doesn't mean that someone else cannot have a conflicting view as to what happened to him. And then she can say, well, hey, I'm the wife. So whatever I say, whatever my view is, has to be accepted over everybody else's view just because I'm the wife. That's a non sequitur. I'm not saying you are alluding to it, but that's a non sequitur.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy. Okay.
Ashley said, I'm putting on the record that both ladies seem a bit batshit crazy right now. I don't know if I call either one of them crazy. I think they're both highly emotional and they're females. I mean, what do you expect? His mom said, you're a very intelligent man. I like you. Well, thank you. Grace, a woman of Christ, said, Erika supposedly doing the work of God with both her hands up. Well, let me ask you a question. Is it wrong to make money while doing the work of God? I mean, God didn't say be broke. God said be fruitful, multiply. All right. God said that you can have, there's a word I'm looking for that's escaping me right now, but God didn't say that being Christ-like also means not having. Now, he didn't say that. I'm paraphrasing here. Shizu said the Republicans are going to lose using the military against Americans, limiting free speech. Well, the Democrats are going to say all those things, but we'll see if it matters in November. Owen Johnson, thanks for the follow. Party Mama said, it's never been anything about money. I think this fabricated cat, is about stabilizing her family. It's about what do I say to get more money? Well, first of all, Party Mama, as a CEO, it is your job to make sure the company is profitable and making money. That's not a bad thing. That doesn't make her wrong. If you're talking about Erika Kirk. And if you're talking about Candace Owens, if you put out content and people are willing to show support by donating money to you in the process of you doing what you're doing, there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't make you wrong to make money. Making money is not a bad thing, folks. Even if you're a Christian or you're whatever religion, making money is not a bad thing. And socially, a lot of you have been, societally rather, a lot of you have been conditioned to believe that anybody who's making money or trying to make money or intentionally or obviously doing things to make money, that means they're doing something wrong. This is a reflection of just poor money mindsets that have been handed down generation by generation to a lot of different people, all different walks of life in the United States. And this is how we get the idea that anybody who has a bunch of money must be evil. All right, that's bullshit. Now, you can be evil with a lot of money. You can be evil and broke. Justin D said, there's only gaping holes regarding Turning Point USA if you're a Candace Owens fan. No, that's not true. The gaping hole with Turning Point USA is the fact that they use a lawyer to put out their statement to, quote unquote, debunk what Candace was saying. And then the fact they said, we're going to do a live stream. We're going to debunk what Candace says, but we're not going to make it as easy as possible for Candace to be here to defend her own points. Those are gaping holes. You don't have to be a fan of anybody to note logically that doesn't make any sense. Justin, what do you think?
Stop it. Get some help.
CW said the problem with Erika is that she comes off as disingenuous. The media blitz hasn't been helpful. Okay, fair enough. If that's how you see it. I just think there's only so long you can be in hiding and hiding behind your grief before you had to answer some real questions, especially if you're still taking in money. Midnight said her bragging how much money they've taken in is an eye opener. Who was bragging about it? And what did they say? As he said, they still did their live stream and debunked absolutely nothing. Did they do the live stream yesterday? And where can it be found if they did the live stream yesterday? Because I was looking to see if they did it. And then they were saying that there wouldn't be a live stream. Now people are saying that they did do the live stream. I saw some people saying that they did it. And then some saying that they didn't do it. So somebody tell me, did they actually do the live stream? That's what I'm trying to find out. So let me look up TPUSA, see if I can find the video. So I'm just looking on their page. I don't see it. So the TPUSA do their live stream yesterday, which I'm just trying to get to the bottom of that. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. TPUSA live stream. So I see people talking about it before the live stream. Erika, Kirk, Barry Weiss, saw that. Some people bashing Candace. Let me see. Yeah, so I don't know if they did it or not. I saw them say, Erika said they weren't going to do it, and I didn't see anybody post any clips from it, so I don't know. Let's see. I'm skipping through the comments, folks. I can't read every single comment. Jorge said Candace has receipts. Joey says Candace lost her mind. So there we go, right there. Then Karina said Candace does not have receipts. Well, it depends on what you consider to be a receipt. Candace does have receipts. It depends on what you call a receipt. Some people think a receipt means you need to have absolute proof. A receipt can just be evidence. Evidence is something that could point towards what's true. It maybe does not. Either way, it's still a receipt. Party said Candace Owens will be the drifting queen. I think you meant grifting queen. Then it's always been about money. First of all, there's nothing wrong with being about money. Party mama, why do you keep saying that? Nothing wrong with making money. Kimberly Nicole, thanks for the follow. Brian Richards said, I would love your view on draft. If I want to keep my kids out of the draft anyway other than run. What draft? We don't have a draft right now. And hopefully, as long as Trump is president, we don't get into any new wars. What draft are you thinking about? Karina said, Candace doing what she's been doing for 10 years, LOL. What, podcasting? Speaking? She should do those things. She's good at it. CC said, there's no way he should be found not guilty, although Utah is not what people think. Well, CC, I don't know. They had to prove it. And that's the reason why you have courts. The reason why you have trials is that, first of all, there is no one who eyeball witnessed this guy pulling the trigger. Secondly, we don't have video of this guy actually pulling the trigger. We have what, as of today, is only circumstantial evidence that he was the shooter. Circumstantial evidence being the text messages and the group chat, whatever it was that he was saying. And all of this is contingent on, ladies and gentlemen, you believing official stories from the government. I thought 5 years ago that we decided that we didn't believe anything that came out of government on face value. Or on its face, at face value. I thought that's what we agreed on about 5 years ago. But now, all of a sudden, everybody wants to believe the official story from the government without any examination. That's the part that's always made me curious. How all of a sudden everybody wants to accept what the government says without questioning whether it's true. And now there's no question that this guy's guilty. I heard Megyn Kelly saying that. I've seen some of you saying it. How are we just all of a sudden just accepting this just that easily? Let's see. Brian said, Candace and Kirk crap, who cares, more worried about the coming draft. What coming draft? I didn't know there was a draft coming. Lana Banana said, Candace has been wilding out with accusations so she could be part of the inside info. I don't know if that's the goal. Has it worked? Did it work? Tyler said, they still did a version of that live stream debunking conspiracies. Their guest was virtual. They did do the video on TPUSA. I'm trying to find the video. Where is it? I was looking it up and I didn't see it. Rebecca, thanks for the follow. Leather and Pearl said, tap, let's get to 100. We're at 94, folks. Please. Thank you. Karina said, I plan to tune in today. Hopefully she doesn't waste my time again. LOL. Well, she didn't waste your time the last time. I mean, you still had an opinion on it, so she supplies you that. Miles said they threatened her family. Yeah, we'll see. Cece said she literally said if Erika asked her to stop. Oh, yeah, I addressed that. Well, Heck said she should stop to save her reputation. But her reputation has gotten even better since she started. Why would she stop? CW says CO will stop once she finds the whole truth. Yeah, if she can find it. Rebel Mello said the only thing is what if Erika's pretending and she is also suspicious. Hey, she might be. According to what she said in her interviews, though, she's not. JJ44 said it's called money always corrupts everyone. I don't agree with that. That's a reflection of a poor money mindset. That many of you have been taught this. This applies to black people, white people, young, old, male, female, all religious denominations. People have this idea that anytime somebody's doing things intentionally to make money, that means that they're wrong. All of you have a job, don't you? All of you have jobs or businesses. Don't you make money? All right, so are you corrupt? Are you a grifter just because you make money? Making money does not make you bad, folks. Where are y'all getting this bullshit mindset? Barbie 0007 said, I would think either money or guilt trip so she can back off TPUSA at least. Maybe. And it said Candace is mad that she wasn't part of the inside info. She got what she wanted. And that's a reach. How do you know that she was mad? And this has been the common thing that a lot of people are saying, oh, you're just mad because you're not part of the inside. Where are you getting this from?
Stop it. Get some help.
Karina said, I don't think Erika minded Candace started accusing too many people close to them. Well, I don't think Erika minded at all. I think she's a CEO and she realized that her organization is looking bad, so she had to do something. Leah, thank you for the lightning bolts. Heck said, it looks like CEO is creating controversy to make money. Well, did she create Charlie Kirk getting shot? No, you can't create a dead body. Go ahead. Jessica Preston, thanks for the follow. CW said, TPUSA dropped security ball. No one on rooftops, no EMS, no ambulance. Site EK got answers. I doubt it. That's the whole point. Karina said, at least Erika didn't sue her into oblivion. Well, suing somebody doesn't mean that you win. You might actually lose that lawsuit. First, secondly, you got to go into discovery and all the things that Candace has been putting out there. Turning Point USA would have to prove that she was wrong. And third, what would she sue her on? What grounds could TPUSA sue Candace Owens? Even though I keep telling you, I thought they were setting up for a lawsuit. Just because you sue somebody does not mean that you win. Those are two different things, everybody. People understand how lawsuits work. There's a civil court case, and the only thing TPUSA could possibly sue Candace for is defamation. And to win a defamation lawsuit, folks, is not just that you said things that we don't like or you said things that are wrong or even that you said things that are false. And a lot of people don't understand this about defamation. To win a defamation lawsuit, the thing you must prove is not that the other person was wrong or inaccurate. You must prove that they knew the truth and they told a lie anyway. Does Candace know the truth and is telling a lie on purpose? I don't think so, because most of us don't know the truth. When people know the actual truth of what happened to Charlie Kirk, if we're to believe it, is the FBI. So how can Turning Point USA say that Candace is telling a lie and she knows the truth? She doesn't know the truth. So you have no basis upon which to file a defamation lawsuit, damn sure not to win. So a lot of people saying, well, I hope Turning Point sues Candace Owens and destroys her. Do you understand how lawsuits work? Do you understand what you must prove to win a defamation lawsuit? There's a reason why defamation lawsuits rarely work, because it's very hard to prove defamation. You have to prove that somebody else knew the truth and told a lie anyway. How do you prove that when you don't even know the truth? Erika Kirk is on TV, national TV, telling people we are just sending every lead and all the information we get to the FBI, i.e. we don't know the full story yet. So how are you going to sue her for defamation? That doesn't even make any sense. So any of you who keep saying that, please.
Put the phone down! This is for my safety. Put the phone down! This is for my safety. Put the phone down! This is for my safety. Put the phone down!
Katie said, Candace is legit. She is the only one not accepting the narrative. And then she got a bunch of other people to follow. Cece said, because you can't ignore things, even if they're not true or evil, whatever people want to say. Oh, sure you can. You can ignore things. What do you mean you can't? Media, thanks for the lightning bolts. JJ said, funny how everyone's talking about Candace and Erika instead of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, nobody's talking about Charlie Kirk anymore. But people are talking about him getting shot because of Candace. That we can agree. Philip Antoine, thanks for the follow. Nana said, Candace is dividing conservatives. Well, Candace's work has divided the opinions amongst conservatives. I would agree with that. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. And I think if people are being honest on any side politically, that there will be disagreement on the inside if people are being honest, because there's no way you're going to get millions and millions of people all to agree on the same stuff all the time. So I don't have a problem with that. Frank said, LMAO impeach Trump. You're clueless. Wow. What am I clueless about? Frank T. Trump has already been impeached twice. By what? Democrat run Congresses. And if Democrats take over Congress in 2026, they would impeach him a third time. What's clueless about that? It already happened 2 times. So what's clueless about it? Frank, I might have to give you a put the phone down in a second. Kind of said, you're wrong about almost everything you're spewing here. Okay, point out one thing that I'm wrong about. Point out what I'm wrong about. JJ said, Democrats are who have caused all this. They are the original KKK. Yeah, okay. Naeem Karuru, thanks for the follow. Echo said, I want my strawberry cheesecake. Here you go.
Strawberry cheesecake.
And Karina said, sorry, we were trying to mutilate your children. We were moderate and read books to them instead. Well, hey, that might be what happens. I can't click links on here, so somebody put a link in there. Just tell me the name of it. Maybe I'll see if I can find it on YouTube. They only did 10 minutes. Oh, so it was on the Charlie Kirk show. Okay, so they did on the Charlie Kirk show, they only did 12 minutes. That was their live stream, was 12 minutes. That's it. Let me look it up. I'm not going to play the video, but I'm going to look it up. I'm going to save it and I'll watch it later. So Charlie Kirk show. So this was the one that says huge new evidence debunks Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories. Is that the one? Let's see. I'm looking at Charlie Kirk's YouTube live. No, it's not that. What's the title of the video? So I see laying out the evidence that points to Tyler Robinson. Then huge new evidence debunks Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories. Those are 2 that I see. Those are the latest videos 15 and 16 hours ago. And that's all I see on their channel. But that's what they did. That's all they came out with was 12 minutes. I thought it was going to be some big epic event. But maybe that's not the one they were going to do. I don't think that's the one they were actually going to do. That's what it looks like. And he said, Candace going back to TPUSA and getting to do it her way? No, I doubt that happens. Scooter said, I enjoy it when you talk about current legal battles. When there's one that's interesting enough, I will talk about it. Janet says, Trump won't be impeached for doing his job. Nice to have a POTUS that does. Well, Janet, what did he get impeached for the first 2 times? What show have y'all been watching for the last 10 years? Sarah K said the book is a bit much. Which book? So a bunch of you saying it's a 10-minute video on YouTube. Subjective evidence is not a great receipt. Well, it is a receipt, period. There's no such thing as a good or bad receipt. It's just a receipt. A receipt just means this happened. That's all a receipt is. You go to the store, you buy a pack of gum, you get a receipt. You buy $300 worth of groceries, you also get a receipt. A receipt is just a receipt. It's a tracking of what occurred. Well, heck said, I thought they found DNA ties to Robinson. Maybe they did. But again, that all requires us to accept the official story coming from the government, which is the part that I'm challenging, not what they say they found. Again, the government told us a lot of things in 2020. Angelica says, is it true that Macron is suing Candace? Yes, they are suing Candace. That case is still ongoing. Lindsay said, the government is using everyone's high emotions and expecting everyone to believe their BS. Well, a lot of people do believe it. It might not be BS, but we don't know. That's the whole point. Rick said, there's no draft. Recruitment is at an all-time high. I didn't hear anything about a draft. That's why I was asking. Most people asking about a draft. There's no draft. Angelica said, I think Candace is pissed she didn't get hired for TPUSA or for Donald Trump. I don't know. It sounds like an appeal to emotion that you're making there, Angelica. You're
emotional, damn it.
I think Candace is doing pretty well as an independent. She got dropped from Daily Wire. I think she realized, let me stop joining organizations because my style eventually creates friction wherever I work. So how about I go somewhere where I can't get fired? I think that's a smart move by Candace Owens. Lindsay said, Charlie Kirk questioned the weird shit the government did around JFK and the Trump attempt. Yes, he did. That was Mom. Thanks for the share. Tara said, how can anyone be wrong with opinions? LOL. You can't be. It's just people here have emotional damage. So when they hear an opinion that they don't like, they say stuff like that.
Emotional damage.
Googleplex said Johnny Depp. Yeah, Johnny Depp is like one of the few. That's why he's the one you can name. Most people don't win defamation lawsuits because they're damn near impossible to win. Taylor said their live stream was longer, but the debunking conspiracy is only about 12 minutes. Okay. Yeah, it was probably not what they were going to do until Erika said, no, y'all ain't doing that. Jess Chatta, thanks for the follow. New York Nick said the truth will never come out, just like JFK, Lincoln, etc. Well, the truth is probably out about JFK. It's just a matter of which story do you accept as the truth. How will we ever really know? Because the people who were involved probably will never talk. And many of them are still alive. The debunking conspiracies of the video, I'm going to listen to it later. Lindsay said they deleted the actual live and they just put out clips. Kay Sarah said the question is, she did not answer why is his parents turn him in. Well, that's the question. That's what the government told us. That everything we know about this Tyler Robinson was the official story coming from the government. My point is not any of the specific details. It's since when did we accept official stories from the government after what happened in 2020? That's the question I'm asking the audience. So people who don't like Candace Owens, so now you decided you accept the official story coming from the government now after what happened in 2020? We just accept anything the government says and that's it? Nobody asks anything? I didn't know that happened. I didn't know that we switched over to that. I didn't get the memo. That's what I'm saying. Doesn't mean the government's lying, but it also doesn't mean they're telling the truth. Sarah said the Kirk book she was promoting, I thought was a bit much right now, especially with the secrecy. Well, they're about to have their biggest event of the year, Sarah. So there's a reason why she has that book now. They're going to sell a bunch of those books this week. I understand why they're doing it. Business-wise, it's a smart move. Best chance to sell your books is right when you have everybody, all your biggest fans in one place, and you're on stage, and everybody's cheering for you. That's the best time to sell a book. They're going to sell thousands of books. JDA Blue said, good morning. I'm just joining, so I got to catch up. Thanks for joining. Let's see. New York Nick said, Trump will finish the 4-year term. The Dems can impeach him. No, he's not going to get removed. Okay, so I think people don't understand the difference between impeaching and removing. Donald Trump will be impeached for a third time. Impeaching just means you bring charges. So a lot of people think impeaching means that you get removed. No, impeachment is one thing. Getting removed is another thing. Those are two different steps. You can get impeached, but not removed. Donald Trump has already been impeached twice. He's about to be impeached a third time if the Democrats get control of Congress in 2026. That's a guarantee he will be impeached a third time. Will he be removed? No, because to be removed, you got to get some Republicans to vote to remove him. He's not going to be removed, but he will be impeached. So that person earlier who said, I'm clueless when I say he's getting impeached, clearly this person doesn't understand how the system works. He's already been impeached twice, so it's not some crazy thing. Lindsay says, they said Dad recognized the weapon as his father's. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about that when it happened, when he got caught. Thanks for the follows and shares. Real Digital News, Annie AFF, Murphy the Mutt, Easy Travel, KOH. Lindsay said, I don't think Tyler will even make it to trial. No, if he doesn't, that will help Candace Owens. Echo said, thanks for the cheesecake, time for work. You're welcome. He's not getting removed from office. He's just going to get impeached. And I'll have plenty of content to make about it. To Shea Butter and Gary Rowlerson, thanks for the follow. Doc said, only accept from the government when Trump is the president. Karina said the book sold out and is on back order. Yeah, they're going to sell more. They're going to sell a lot of books. Jonesy says, still waiting for my copy. Yeah, see? So it's smart for them to sell the book. If I was consulting Turning Point USA, I say, you got a Charlie Kirk book? Yeah, sell it right now because Erika's come out of hiding. Y'all got your biggest event of the year. All your biggest fans are going to be there. This is the perfect time to sell a book and sell T-shirts, hats, underwear, whatever else you got to sell all of it because people are going to buy it. Selling merch is one of the best things you can do when you have an event, especially when you got a whole bunch of your own fans in the room all at the same time. They'd be stupid to not sell that book. And there's nothing wrong with selling a book if you got fans who want to buy it. So there's nothing wrong with this, folks. Scooter said, I don't see a Democrat majority for a long time in any branch of government. Okay. Keep watching. Right now, the Democrats might be able to pull it off. We'll see how things look by November. I mean, things change here quickly, but we'll see. Ashley said, our government told us gene therapy was safe 6 feet, 5 feet. Then, yeah, I remember that. JD said, thanks for explaining impeachment. I learned something new. You're welcome. Jonesy said, am I going? No, I'm not going. I've never been to a Turning Point USA event. Is it worth it? Should I go? Lindsay said, I love how you don't really present as one side or other good for open discussion. Thank you. Karina, yeah, underwear. Yeah, they sell Turning Point USA underwear. Whatever they got. Anything you got that has Turning Point on it, you should sell it at that AmFest. From what I hear, I know some people who've been to the event. It's a big party and it's one of the best events for the conservative movement. One of the biggest events for the conservative movement other than the RNC itself, which is more of a political thing, heavily political thing, where AmFest is more of a conservative thing, but it's not technically not political. So maybe one day I'll go to it. What's the weather in Arizona this week? Let me see what the weather is in Phoenix. Because if it's cold, then I wouldn't be interested. I'm not going anywhere cold voluntarily unless they pay me. They got to be paying me for me to go somewhere cold for free. So, okay, it's not bad weather. It's cold in the mornings. So lows in the 50s in the morning, but then the highs in the mid 70s. That's not bad. Mid 70s is not bad, but Arizona is that arid weather. No humidity, no moisture in the air. I like moisture in the air. I don't like dry air. 76 TPUSA, y'all had to pay me. You want me to come to one of those events. I'm not spending my own money to come to AmFest. Maybe if they had it in like Tampa or something, I might go. But I'm not going to Phoenix. 76 degrees ain't warm enough. Scooter said, I think I'll do a live on Ilhan Omar. What about her? I'm in Miami. Easy travel. I like humidity. I like moisture in the air. I like it to be 80 degrees. I like to wake up to 70-degree weather. Ashley Mack said they should. Angelica said Arizona has dry heat, as does Nevada. Yeah, I know. I've been there before. I've been everywhere in America. I don't like dry air, especially if it's cold and dry. That's not a good combination for me. If they were paying me, I'll do it. If you got a conference in Phoenix, you want me to come speak, and you have my fee, then I will fly. I don't care what the weather is. For the right amount of money, I'll fly. But for free and me spending my own money, then I need several factors working in my favor. And TPUSA, I'm not that excited about them. Jonesy says 15 degrees in Wisconsin. I'll come to Wisconsin for the right. You pay my fee. I'll come to Wisconsin. Y'all got hotels with heat, right? The hotels got heat. No, we can make it work. Karina said you'd be a great speaker. Well, I am a speaker. I'm already a great speaker, but thank you for the compliment. But they would have to call me. They had to call me and they had to pay me. That's the only way that would work. Now, if they have it in Florida, then I could just drive. I might go if it's convenient. But for me to actually travel and I wouldn't be doing a live stream. I couldn't do this if I was traveling. So we'll see. Marky Man said Hawaii has the best weather. That's one state I have not been to. I've never been to Hawaii or Alaska. So I've been to all the lower 48. I've been to damn near all of them. Murphy the Mutt said you on fire today. LOL. Don't I do this every day? What's different about today? I think my performance is pretty consistent, but I'll take it. I didn't play football. I played basketball, and I played overseas. So teams I played for, you probably never heard of. But I played in Europe, mostly in Europe. So over the course of almost 10 years. CC said, I love your confidence. Well, thank you. I wrote a book on confidence. It's called The Super You. Where is it? Where is it? It's that yellow book right there. Y'all see that? That book is on confidence right there. That's part of the Bulletproof bundle. You can get that at mirrorofmotivation.com. This black book, mirrorofmotivation.com. Go to that book. Just take out the word the.com. The book's free. Just cover the shipping. We can send it to you. Was I on with Chink last night on Young Turks? No, I was not. Why, is there somebody who was on there that looks like me? Who was it? That was mom. Thanks. Barbie said, definitely drain on fire every day with these topics. Thanks. Who was on Young Turks that looks like me? I was not on Young Turks. I don't know Young Turks. I mean, I know who they are, but I wasn't on the show. So let me look it up, see if I can find out who was on their show last night. Last night, I see Rand Paul. I know you don't think I look like him. So who was on the Young Turks? I'm looking their latest videos. Then I see Donald Trump. No, I don't even think I thought you thought I was him. I see Cash Patel. I see Barry Weiss. I see Candace Owens. Who was on here that could possibly have you thinking it was me? He interviewed a pro b-ball player. I only listened to audio. Oh, he interviewed a basketball player. Oh, okay. I don't know who that was. And he was a guy who played in Europe. Oh, well, he might be still playing right now. I don't play anymore. Angelica said, I think it's cool that you play pro ball in Europe. I think that's amazing. Well, thank you. Sarah said, I didn't see him. I only heard the audio. Oh, okay. No, I was not on that show yesterday. What were they talking about? They were talking about basketball? Is Young Turks into basketball? Oh, he's running for Congress. Oh, you know what? That was probably Royce White. Royce White is running for Congress, and he used to play basketball, so maybe it was him. Let me see if I can find it. Royce White is from Minnesota. Royce White's a few years younger than me, so he is. Yeah, Royce White played at Iowa State in college, and then he played a little bit in the NBA. Then he played some international ball, but then he stopped playing relatively early in his basketball career. Then he got into the political thing. I like Royce White stuff. Shout out to Royce White. I like Royce White stuff. I listen to his podcast every now and then. I didn't know he was on there, but okay. All right. If you heard Royce White, you thought it was me, I'll take that as a compliment. Royce White's actually very articulate, very smart guy, actually. So that I'll take as a compliment. I know you weren't confusing me for Rand Paul. Anyway, all right, so everybody, the interview, it wasn't an interview. I was on the show. I was a panelist on his show, Jeffrey D. You can look up Jason Whitlock on YouTube. He has a show called Fearless, and then he does another segment called Harmony. They're both on his channel. You can see the video. We did about 45 minutes. It was me, Jason, he was the host, me, Virgil Walker, who's a pastor, and Shamika Michelle. I was on the show 3 times in the last week. So just look it up on his YouTube channel. You can see it for yourself, and you can draw your own conclusions. Yeah, I don't think you confused me with Rand Paul. All right, everybody. So a couple more questions I'll take off YouTube here. Some questions on YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. Very active today. Joey said their live stream was about Tyler Robinson. Yeah, I saw that. They said they called Candace a liar, and she provides text messages to support her claim. She's criticized for doing it. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. People say that she's lying, but then when she points something out, then they demonize her for pointing it out by sharing personal information. Well, the dude's dead. Anyway. Teresa said, thanks for all your content. I appreciate your now. You're welcome. Digital Forensic says, stop using identity politics. Obviously, race plays a role in your unbridled support. Support for who? Who am I supporting? If I'm supporting somebody, imagine what it looks like when I don't like them. Who am I supporting? Girlie said, they weren't following Candace until CK. I watched all her documentaries, Floyd, BLM, Kamala, Barry, The Jab, Chaos, Mr. Me too. I watched all those too. So, Girlie, I've been listening to Candace since before Charlie Kirk passed away. And yes, she did build a bigger audience after he passed away, but that's kind of how it goes. Brandon said there are many other content creators who have been scrutinizing TPUSA. Simply has the largest following. Yeah, I know. I agree with you. I've been criticizing TPUSA. Candace's following is way bigger than mine. And other content creators going way harder on Erika than Candace was doing. I agree with that as well. Tolbert Ant, good morning. Dave Gall said Candace 100% with everything she said about the conspiracies. The Kelly Vol said, are you familiar with a football player named Gabe Watson? He played for Arizona. I am not. Well, who is he? Why would I be familiar with him? Dave said, Candace is a scorned woman. She's trying to destroy everything about Charlie. She hates Charlie. Well, that's what some people say, but that's an appeal to emotion. So you want the emotional damage sound? I give you the emotional damage sound. This is for you, Dave Goss. Emotional damage. All right, so you wanted the emotional damage. You got it. Candace says, Mark says, how many likes do you have? My phone says 12. What does that mean? Likes? What are you talking about? Oh, likes. Oh, 126.7 thousand. So we did over 100K today. Thank you, everybody, for the likes. Ava, thank you for the follow. Billy's on a mission. So how do you think the conversation went with the ladies? Well, that's what we just talked about for the last hour and a half. Where were you at, Billy? Angela said, are you going to do the Rob Rayner case one day or no? I mean, what are we going to say about it? I mean, he got found stabbed, apparently maybe by his son. What else is there to say? I don't know what else to say about it. I don't really watch movies like that, so I'm not really like a fan of Rob Reiner, so I don't know what else to say. So I probably can't do a whole live on that. I just gave you 30 seconds that I have to say on it. Sarah said, Candace is very mild on anything surrounding Erika and her investigation, though. Yes, she was. I agree. She was easy on him. She was easy on Erika. Okay, so we are going to wrap this one up, folks. Tana D said, "A fair and balanced had a face, it'll be yours. Thank you for doing what you do." Thank you. So, everybody, for those of you who don't know, I do these live streams Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern. We're usually done by about 9:30, 10 o'clock. But we start at 8 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday on business days. We'll probably be off on Christmas, maybe the day after Christmas. But other than that, we're here unless otherwise noted or unless I don't pay the internet bill. Otherwise, we're here. So, if you like this live, come back tomorrow. If you didn't like it, come back tomorrow. Thank you to the moderators, the regulars, the new people. If you want to get connected with me directly, the best way is to text message me. Can one of my moderators put this number in the comments? 305-384-6894. 305-384-6894. Send me a text message. I will respond to your text. It may not be immediate. You'll get some auto text from us as well because we got things that we promote and all that. Y'all know how it goes. Text me. My number is 305-384-6894. I send out the thank you, Leah, for pinning that comment. And I do the daily motivation text comes out every day. Weekly motivation comes out every Monday. And in between that, you can connect and communicate with me directly through text messages. I do check my texts and I do respond. You will be talking to me if you text me. If you DM me, that might be my assistant. If you email me, you might get my assistant. But if you text me, that's me. So you want to reach me, you can email me if you like. But DM me if you like. I don't respond to DMs. I don't usually read DMs. The best way to reach me is to text me. Second best is email. DM, your stuff might get lost in the sauce. So number 305-384-6894. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Leah, for the consistent likes and comments and keeping the chat in order. Thank you, everybody. Everybody have a great Tuesday. I will see you all tomorrow morning. Topic to be determined. We might talk about Kamala and Gavin Newsom. They're about to square up. Kamala and Gavin Newsom about to square up to see who is going to run for the White House in 2028. Those are going to be not your moderators, your candidates in 2028. But we'll get to that when it's time. Everybody have a great Tuesday. I will see you all tomorrow morning. Work on your game. We are out of here.